The following show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for all audiences. Audience discretion is advised.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to Thespian Talk. Oh my god, it's been too long. And, you think your job is going to let you have a consistent enough home time for this? Nope! So, but it pays well enough, so, balance? I would rather get paid that much doing this, to be completely honest with you, but that's okay. We'll get there eventually. I, of course, am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian. With me this week is the cat.
Hello, everyone!
Yes! She is back. The cat is back the very next episode. Took me how many episodes to make that reference? Or did I make it before?
I don't know that you've ever made it before.
Took me over 200 episodes to get to that. But Michelle is also here.
Hello.
And the past month or so, we've had on the political end, this is going to start off deep at the moment.
Woo!
We've got the impeachment proceedings, which are now all being held publicly because the whiners on the Republican side are like, well, it's behind closed doors, it's not a fair thing. And Pelosi's like, all right, it's going to be out in the open. Nothing's going to change. Except that one guy who had his memory jogged, but that's about it. But other than that, it's like all this other stuff coming out, and it's out publicly. And we have sound bites. And it is more and more it is more and more obvious, and it should be more obvious to the people who actually watch it. We don't care if it's entertaining, it's fucking important. But to more and more people watching it, Trump is basically a mob boss. Except worse. Like, if I'm going to make a JoJo reference, and the people who watch JoJo will get it. It's
if you must.
Yeah. Like the latest part that's being dubbed on Adult Swim right now is part 5 is Golden Wind, which involves the Italian mafia. And the boss is Diavolo, who is, he's the main bad guy for that particular part. So Diavolo is Trump, except Diavolo is a lot more competent. Whereas you have somebody like Giorno, who becomes the mob boss. Spoiler alert for a storyline that ended back in the 90s. And Giorno is more benevolent than Diavolo. So basically, Trump is the Diavolo to everybody else's Giorno, I guess. I don't know how well that comparison works out overall, even with my explanation, but still, Trump's a piece of shit, and he needs to go down. And down, and down, and down, and down. Over and over again. Until we don't have to worry about him anymore. And
can you take Boris with him?
Yes, please. So that all is happening. Meanwhile, we still have kids we haven't been able to find. We still have concentration camps going. We still have unarmed minorities being shot dead by police or otherwise incarcerated for very disproportionate amounts of time compared to white people. Like there was a guy, I think it was Ohio or something, who literally kept a black man enslaved for over 20 years. His sentencing, 10 years in prison. Like,
this feels like I'm missing lots of the story here. What's the short version of why he kept him enslaved? Or just
probably just racism. I don't know, but the fact is, if the roles were reversed, the black man would probably be dead.
Yeah.
Like this white guy, he deserves to go to prison for life. Let him be a slave for the prison industrial complex. See how he likes it, and maybe he'll change his tune. And before anybody gets on me, the prison industrial complex is very, very shitty and needs to be abolished, but if you got it and you can use it to teach a lesson to a stupid racist white honky, why not use it? Use what you've got. Use what you got. So yeah, I had to get a lot of that out of the way because I know it's a lot in the news and everything. But beyond that, Kat, how have you been since the last time you've been on?
We were having a whole pre-conversation about this before the recording started about what a disaster my life has been.
No.
But it's okay. It's okay. I just had a lot of family medical emergencies and I don't know if y'all remember what the last 2 years of my life have been, but I've gotten a whole bunch of repeated cases of bronchitis and pneumonia. And so I've started actually going to a cardiopulmonologist, a pulmonologist, to figure out why the fuck I can't stop being sick. And after a month of testing, they can't figure out why I keep getting sick.
Jeebus.
I went to the doctor and she's flipping through all the test results, looking exasperated. I'm like, yeah, welcome to my life.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting. Yeah. It's fine. It's chaos, but it's managed chaos.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of people in my family have been diagnosed with really bad things in a very short amount of time, and family members have been in and out of the hospital, and I can't not be sick. And work's been trash, but I actually am feeling okay, so I am handling all of my shit. And on any given day, that's more than a lot of people can do.
Yeah, that is very true. Michelle, how about you?
Pretty good. Work is still going well, and I think last time I spoke to you, I was in solder school. I'm now in an actual area at the back where I'm putting my soldering skills to training. I'm on the solder flow now, which is basically a big vat of metal, molten metal that comes up, pokes the bottom of the boards that need coated. So it'll attract to the bits that want to be soldered and leave the other bits alone. Mm-hmm. And basically sometimes you get spikes, so I'm flattening those out and then I'm putting them into metal work, and we're getting at 400 a week. It's doing pretty good. So I'm learning new stuff. I'm basically in charge of the stock for our area, because if you've ever looked at a circuit board, they have lots of different parts.
Yeah.
The other people put the parts on. So it's sort of become my job to make sure there's enough parts to be there in the first place.
There you go.
Well, that's kind of cool. Personal stuff, pretty good. I had some. I'm gonna say it's quite quietly because people might be waking up who don't know this yet. They went away for a week, so I'm gonna have a week off and have a place to myself.
It is good every now and then to have that kind of time. To have the alone time. But yeah, so but another on when it comes on more of a on the broad topics that are going around, one of the definitely lighter ones is the day before we recorded this, because recording it a little bit early because again that home time schedule is not as consistent as I would like. But the day before this got recorded, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield came out for the Nintendo Switch, and it's about goddamn time. And I've almost finished it as of this recording. By the time you guys hear this, I will have probably beaten the main game. So
why?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it helps that I had all day yesterday to really play it. So yeah.
Even so, I mean, I haven't played Pokemon since Yellow, but even then you have to grind the characters just to get any kind of decent fighting team.
A little bit, but the grind is not as bad.
Okay.
Because when you battle, everybody gets experience, so...
Yeah, that's why we used to put Magikarp up front, swap them straight out, and then just fight with whoever.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to do that now.
Oh.
Yeah, because they have an experience share, and it shares among everybody.
Hi.
So...
Cool.
And yeah, we all know well, at least I do. I think I might have mentioned it a time or two on the show before, but the controversies around oh, not all the Pokemon are going to be available in the game. They're not even programmed in the game, and blah 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 blah. It's like, guys, shut up. It's a good game.
See, again, I haven't really watched the anime or played much past Yellow, but my understanding is each game is taking place in a different region on this planet, which is a globe, but that's a separate argument. You go to different countries, they have different animals.
Yeah.
I don't get the controversy.
Well, the main controversy behind that is up until Generation 7, you could bring Pokemon from like previous games up, whether they were in the main Pokedex or not. So, like, for example, in Sun and Moon, you can't find, say, Gardevoir running around in the wild, but you could bring it from a different game and you could breed it there and all of that good stuff.
Okay.
You know, you can't do anything similar with Sword and Shield with, let's see, I think there's 400 something with about 400, about half the Pokedex. So most of them are like older starters, older legendaries, and even then, some of that has been found to be like, yeah, we can bring some of those in.
I can't remember I asked this before, so I don't know. Can't remember the answer. Is there an updated version of the Pokérap with everyone in it? Because man,
I think. What's his name with Polygon? The guy who does. Oh God, I can't remember his name. But he does the videos where like you ask the video game questions and see like how easy would it be to make all of the meals in Breath of the Wild in reality.
Oh yeah.
That guy. He did an extended Pokérap video at a con once. Obviously it would have to be updated because now there's 890.
Good
Jesus
God!
Christ.
Yeah.
That song will be like half an hour long.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, there are people like me who already have what we call a living Pokedex, which means just we have one of every type of Pokemon, including all evolutionary lines and all that good shit. So I'm already there. So I only have to get I think, let's see, 890 out of 809. So 81 Pokemon. But
I'm sorry, I'm kind of stuck on this in my head now. So that basically a modern, fully inclusive Pokérap will be a concept album.
Pretty much. and that's what that.
Oh my God.
And that's what that Polygon video basically was. Because it's like 10 to 20 minutes. Like, holy shit.
Yes, we can do the video, but at what cost?
Well, they got a lot of views and a lot of money out of it, so. Oh, lordy. And in Pokemon, for those who don't know, there are alternately colored Pokemon known as shiny Pokemon, because not only do they look a different color, they sparkle. And I am a shiny hunter. If you're in any Discord that I'm in, or if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see what I mean. And within the first day, and Lacey from last episode, I think she got a little upset and a little jealous about it, because the first day I got a shiny Diglett.
Woo!
Like, I did nothing to increase my odds. I did nothing else. It's just run around. It's like, oh, hey, there's a Diglett. Why does it have a blue? Oh, shit, it's shiny. Like, what the fuck? But yeah.
Actually, that Breath of the Wild cooking video sounds interesting. You have to link me.
Yeah, I'll try and see if I can find it. I'll link it to you, and I might put it in the show notes as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the game is fun, and the region it takes place in, Galar, is it's based on the UK.
Ah, cool.
Very British. There's even a restaurant called Bob's Your Uncle.
What?
Yes.
No. No.
They do know what that means, right?
Maybe. I don't know. It could just be something for, it could just be something put in for adults to get a laugh out of, and the kids be like, what? Although for those who don't know, I will let the British person among us explain about that.
It's a euphemism for doing the do.
Yep. So there you go. But it's not the first time you've had covert sexual stuff in a Pokemon game, like very covert, to where if you're a kid you may not get it, but adults will be like, oh, wait a minute. Like,
you know what? I was rewatching Friends again recently because I hadn't done it for a couple of years, and like, even from 16 to 41, it's like, wow, there are some jokes I missed.
Yeah. Oh, the power of hindsight.
Oh yeah.
Oh, lordy. Whew.
Yeah, so only in 16 to 26 when it originally broadcast.
Wow.
Or about something like that. 650. Yeah, 94. Maybe a little. Yeah, 15, 16. Because I'm pretty sure it started after we moved to Letchworth. And I definitely turned 16 when we were in Peterborough.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. A good chunk of my life.
There you
Sorry.
go.
I just love Friends.
Yeah. And speaking of other things that have released, one that's definitely more that all of us can talk about a little bit more, Disney Plus. Also
I can't talk about it because I don't get it till March.
Oh wow! Oh,
Really?
Wow.
That's tragic.
God damn it, Disney.
I skimmed a Wired article about it, and basically it's because of a contract or something they've got going with Sky, which is one of our satellite channels, like networks. So it's a whole contract thing, which basically means I don't think any of the MCU stuff is going to be starting on Plus straight away, as far as I know. But people are still talking about other things that I might be kind of interested in watching. It's like, well, there's conversations I'm going to have to avoid now.
Oh no.
Actually, The Mandalorian doesn't bother me, which seems to be the one that people talk about the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's probably going to be other things that are going to be starting at some point. It's like, yeah, okay. I mean, Three Caballeros I've not caught up with, so I'm going to have to because there's something I can't get involved in yet unless I do it other ways.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, no, we haven't got it yet. You can carry on talking about it. That's fine, but we don't actually have it till at least the 31st of March.
Well, damn.
That's what I know.
Yeah, Disney Plus, they've got so many of the older movies, TV shows, made for TV movies, even stuff you probably hadn't even heard of before now, and it's not even everything, because I know back in the late 80s, early 90s, Disney they had a trilogy of Disney Channel original movies based on the book series Not Quite Human, which is basically about a scientist builds himself a son, sends him to school to see how well he does in society. That's the basic gist of it.
Yeah.
The books, he's an actual middle schooler. The films make him into high school and college age. Which, I don't. Yeah, no, why not?
Is that the one that the computer wore tennis shoes is part of? I remember that one.
No.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah, totally different one. But I think Computer Wore Tennis Shoes is on there.
Yeah,
I think. Cool. And of course, the new DuckTales, and I don't know what it is with some companies, like when they would put it up on iTunes or other streaming services. Some of them gotten better about it, but I remember seeing some where the episodes would be out of order.
Oh.
And it would be fine for an episodic thing. Like if it was the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, for example, that's very episodic. You can watch them in pretty much any order. But but nowadays you have Steven Universe, you have Gravity Falls, you have the new DuckTales, all have to be in an episodic. All that have to be in a certain order. Otherwise, you're gonna fuck up the narrative.
Yeah.
So, but from what I understand, as of this recording, they did fix up DuckTales Season 2. So that's in order. Season 1, however, is not. And I admit, I went and grabbed it because it's like, what, $70 a year. Hey, go big or go home. Not that bad for all of the movies and all of the TV shows you're going to be able to watch. And it's going to be a bit before we can watch it on Disney Plus, but there's a movie called Mr. Holland's Opus, which as a band and music kind of geek, he really speaks to me. In fact, I saw it when I think it was middle school when I saw it, and it was amazing.
I heard of it. Remind me what it's about, because I've heard of it.
Yeah, basically it was about a guy who's been trying to make it as a musician and gets a job teaching music at a local school, and he starts out very bitter about it. And then over the course of several decades, he comes to, just touch the lives of all of these students. And by the time he's ousted because for whatever reason, that particular school district wanted to get rid of the music program, there's all of these other students that come together and, spoiler alert for the movie, it was out in 95. The entire movie, he had been working on a grand masterpiece of music, and by the end of the film, he not only has it done, but all of his former students come together and they perform it for him and have him direct them, which was really fucking awesome.
That sounds like it'll make me cry.
Yeah, a little bit. And bear in mind, that is the bare bones of it. And Richard Dreyfuss is really good in that, by the way.
Yeah.
Uh,
Speaking of cryy things, have we all seen the My Little Pony finale?
I do not watch it, so.
This is how emotional it is. Not only is it, because you know how some shows stop, some actually end, and like sometimes people aren't happy with the ending. Like I think Lost is a good example of that, or How I Met Your Mother, people were not happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch it, I didn't care, but it's like this actually properly ends. It's satisfying. It's really good, and it's got like the 2-part action finale, and then it's got like a coda, coda episode, which is really good. It's so emotional. I was crying at the end of it, which is I don't even mind saying that.
Yeah.
But watching a review of it made me cry again.
Aww.
But the review was so sweet though, because he like did a shout out, thank you, like to everyone involved in the main producers and writers and voice actors and everything. So it's like, oh, but that's when you know it's good.
Yeah. So Kat, what to take it back to Disney Plus? What are you? Have you been messing with Disney Plus at all, Kat, or do you like it, or have you found something really cool, or?
Honestly, it's only been out for a few days, and I haven't had a chance until like last night to catch a couple of episodes of something. So I did watch the first episode of Mandalorian. I haven't watched the second episode yet, but it was really good. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I did catch an episode of a show that got, Gomer, I forgot what podcast I'm on. Gomer, you will love this show. It's a Disney Plus show called Encore.
Ooh.
It is, it's like Kristen Bell's show, and it is, it's about people who were in plays when they were young, like in middle school or high school or whatever, and then they get those same kids all back together as adults, like 15 years later, and redo the play.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And so the first one that they did was Annie. So I hate Annie, but it was an interesting, cute little show. All these people who were in Annie in middle school, and now they're all grown up, and they can't sing, and they can't dance, and they can't act.
Oh no!
Because they're all like teachers and stay-at-home moms, and one of them's a cop, and all of this stuff. And it was interesting. It was a little bit painful to watch.
Yeah.
But interesting. I think you would really appreciate it.
I think I would too.
Sounds fun.
So that was interesting on Disney Plus. I will be interested to see all the things that end up on there, like things that I didn't hear. I've never heard of this show Encore, but there it was. Somebody told me it was there, and I watched one.
Cool.
I haven't had a lot of experience with it yet. It is still very, very early, so it's like lagging a lot. It wouldn't let me download the app because too many people are trying to access it, all this other stuff. So it's having its, first week pains that you'd expect.
Yeah.
But so far, I mean, it seems pretty good. I'm excited for all the content, but more than anything else, I'm really excited that there's going to be a lot of different generations who are now going to find stuff that we had when we were young.
Yeah.
Like for me, I have the movie The Rescuers. Nobody's talked about The Rescuers in like years, like decades. And they haven't. The last thing that they made was The Rescuers Down Under, and that was in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
And I have seen so many posts on Twitter and Facebook about The Rescuers, and I'm like, oh my god, this is great! This is great! People are finding stuff that we enjoyed a long time ago, and now we have access to those things we enjoyed a long time ago. And it's gonna be like one thing or the other. It's gonna be really great, and you're just gonna like bask in this nostalgia, or you're gonna rewatch something and go, "Oh my god, why did I like this?" so we're treading some dangerous territory there, but I'm really excited just to sift through and see what there is to see, and I'm really excited for all the original content. And
and one thing that they have on there, and it's another like Disney made for Disney Channel movie or whatever, Mr. Boogedy. Of all things. Oh, it's like kind of a Halloween, supposed to be horror type comedy. more comedy than horror. Stars that one guy who plays the uncle in the My Girl movies, Richard Masur, however you pronounce his name. But and is basically family whose dad runs basically a joke shop and all of that stuff, moves into a haunted house and shenanigans, basically. There's even a second one called Bride of Boogedy, which is not on the service yet, but then again, who remembers Bride of Boogedy? Probably just me. And all I really remember is the title.
Fair enough. Hearing Kat talk about all the teething problems, though, I'm like, yeah, maybe by the time we get it, all that'll be shook out, and we'll get it perfect first time. Who knows?
Yeah. A lot of these apps. I mean, it happened with Pokemon Go when it first came out a few years ago. A lot of server issues and all that. So I think it's probably just par for the course for just all of these app services. And some of these companies just think, oh, we don't need that much bandwidth, and then all of the bandwidth gets used up by all of the people, and they're like, oh shit.
Didn't they have like major sign up straight away? Like I don't know if it broke a record, but it reminded me. Sorry, I don't know if they broke a record, but just saying that reminded me of a thing like when Robert Downey Jr. Started on Twitter. Mm-hmm. It was like how to get a million subscribers or a couple of million subscribers on your first day of Twitter. Step 1, be Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
there is no step 2. There is no step 2.
But
and if you don't follow RDJ on Twitter, you should, because he's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't remember if I do. I follow a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that all said, we're going to go ahead and take our break, and we'll go to our news, which not going to be as political or anything like. Even though there's a lot of politics going on, there's no way I can say it more than just, no fucking duh, in terms of what's coming out about Trump. It's like, he's behind, this whole Ukraine thing. He's doing this. He's basically withholding aid so Ukraine can help him with a personal matter. Because let's face it is at the end of the day a personal matter. That's like, well, no shit, he's going to do that. He's a fucking mob boss. That's what he is.
But I didn't say quid pro quo, so it's not quid pro quo, even though all the liars are telling me it's quid pro quo.
It is quid pro quo. We don't give a shit. We don't give a shit what Trump thinks. We know what he's done. We know what he's trying to do. We know what he's doing. And he needs to go. He needs to go bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But, yeah, so with that said, we will be right back. Hey folks, we'll get back to the show in a moment, but first I want to tell you about Patreon. Patreon is what I use to get around all of the YouTube adpocalypse bullshit, and while I don't have a lot right now, every little bit does help. And if you like what you hear or what you see on any of my videos or podcasts, head on over there. For as little as $1 a month, you can get all of these things early before anybody else does, and you can get them completely ad-free. Yeah, I know YouTube right now is technically ad-free, but at some point, I'm probably going to get big enough to where ads will start coming in, and those can be annoying, so you want to avoid that, right? If you go ahead and go now over to patreon.com/gomer21xx, leave $1, $5, doesn't matter how much, you can get all of these. Again, you can get them early, and you get them without ads, even when I reach the point on YouTube to where ads can be put on these videos. So it's a win-win. And you can even avoid the ads that go up on the Anchor versions that go out to all of the other websites that are out there. No ads. It's great. So that's patreon.com/gomer21xx. Whew. Okay, so this little mid-show thing that I do. Been a while, but yeah, I gotta get back into the groove of this. Hopefully as long as I've definitely mentioned on the main show that that I can get my scheduling good. But yeah, so one of the things I did forget to bring up during the show, and wish I should have talked to them about. I didn't bring it up with them in any segment of any kind of recording, but the Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming out on Valentine's Day with the redesigned Sonic, and you know what? I don't care what anybody else says. It looks fun. The redesign is great. The movie looks like it'll be fun. I know some people poo-pooed it, like, oh, it's just a road trip movie. Sometimes a road trip movie is pretty good. you know, and it's Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like, you know, his story's been rebooted and retold and reformatted so many times. He's basically Mario, but he's a blue hedgehog who runs fast and apparently can cause blackouts if the trailer's anything to go by. And it's like, you know, let's just have fun. Sonic is meant to be a fun franchise in and of itself. There are deeper things, but at the end of the day, let's just have fun. Let this movie be fun. Although, you know, hey, Valentine's Day date, there we go. But yeah, a short one this week. Nothing really much because I'm recording this at the end of recording the main show, which you'll see how long it is, and also our first curtain call, which is a Patreon exclusive thing. So as it is right now, it's going to be available for all patrons. But eventually I might switch around the price, but for now it'll be for all patrons. So if you're a patron, you'll get access to the special curtain call dealio. I'll have to redo the Patreon promo at some point too. But at least for this episode, you get notified here in this little segment. Yeah, apparently I can ramble even when I don't have much to talk about and I'm dead tired. But you'll see why I'm dead tired once we get back to the show. See you there. And we are back from our break. And we're just going to hop right into the news because it's that season again. And despite what rant would probably come out of my face, I'm going to try not to have that come out of my face with this first news story. So this one is from Durham, New Hampshire. Durham, New Hampshire celebration scheduled for the beginning of the holidays is undergoing some changes this year in an effort to remove religious overtones. Okay. You know, you can do that if it is a government thing. No problem. Okay. Formerly called the annual tree lighting ceremony, the newly named Frost Fest, I kind of like that name, will include the absence of a formal tree lighting. Santa will be at the event, but he will not arrive in a town fire truck as he has in the past. What? Why? Oh, well, maybe money. I don't know. That's not the big issue. The wreaths that traditionally adorned lampposts on Main Street will also not be present this year. Town Councilor Sally Tobias says the changes came about after some controversy last holiday season. There was another private citizen that came forward and said that he had always had a problem with a Christmas tree, as he called it, Tobias said. After holding a public meeting, the town formed a working committee and made changes to the event. There were a couple of people that did express some concerns about how they felt being included, Tobias said. Rabbi Beryl Slavatiki of the University of New Hampshire and Seacoast. I hope I got his name right.
Nailed it.
Of University of New Hampshire and Seacoast Chabad Jewish Center feels the changes are a move in the wrong direction. To stop cultures and faiths from practicing publicly would be very un-American. I think that's the beauty of our country, Slavatiki said. Slavatiki? But anyways, he said he asked the town to display a menorah during the days of Hanukkah last year, but his request was denied. The Supreme Court ruled in 1989 that the menorah and the Christmas tree both represent the holiday winter season, Slavatiki said. Tobias herself is not the biggest fan of the changes, but says the town is open to feedback. I will state that the trees and Santas and wreaths are not Christian, Tobias said. Very true. Mm-hmm. And we would like to hear back from the community. We'd like to hear what they think about it, how they would like to see it evolve a little differently, and how we can make it better. Okay, Tobias is on the right course, because, the trees, they're not inherently Christian. In fact, if anything, they're more pagan than anything else. Santa, he's a Coca-Cola mascot. And wreaths, again, probably falls under the same thing as trees. But at this point, and just those three, that's what we're going to stick with at the moment.
Yeah.
They have become so synonymous with the holiday season that it's not just a Christian thing. I guess you could say it's been kind of co-opted. Christianity has put their thing into it, but it's also been co-opted away from it as well. If that makes any sense, I don't know if that makes any sense, but the idea of taking them out in the first place because they want to change up the thing here, like the wreaths, taking them down and not having them be present is like, why? If there's no overt religious symbolism going into it, like a manger on public property, for example, then you do you. If you want to put the Christian stuff up in your front yard, go for it. Or Muslim or Jewish or whatever. Insert religion here. If you want to put it on your private property, go ahead and do it. But trees, not menorahs, wreaths. Yeah. Santa Claus, the elves, those are not inherently Christian.
Yeah.
So at least as far as I understand it, But then again, I've also known non-Christians who do put up a holiday tree for the holiday season. So so it's like take what you will. I feel like I'm talking in circles. Kat, what say you?
God, my opinion of Christmas is just so little. It's just that I don't have very strong opinions other than just please don't play Christmas music around me and I won't kill anyone. I worked retail for a long time. There is no joy left in my soul for Christmas music. But,
fair.
Can't we just let people do things? Just some... The whole thing about this is that it's hurting no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a situation in which a whole lot of people are being offended and that people are, being ostracized or hurt by what's happening. This is not one of those situations. This is really somebody's just making a mountain out of a molehill. Just stop.
Yeah. Wasn't this also kind of the plot of an early South Park episode?
Possibly.
early?
Probably.
Just, ugh. And it's just as silly. Now, I will say one other thing. Our rabbi here, to stop cultures and faiths from practicing publicly would be very un-American. That's the beauty of our country. Here's the thing, Rabbi. Nobody is stopping you from practicing your faith. Literally nobody. In this situation, nobody is. I know anti-Semitism is running rampant. That's not the point.
Yeah.
Nobody is stopping you. Really. You again, like I said, put it out on your private property. That's all well and good. You have synagogues. Christians have their churches. Muslims have their mosques. Do all that. Do all that there. Yeah, there's a time and a place for it. Not on public property, and that's not saying you cannot practice publicly. You can practice publicly anywhere you want. But the government should not be endorsing it. Any religion. So, and before somebody says, no, atheism is not a religion. So stop it. Michelle? What do you think, Michelle?
I think if the rabbi's have your Christmas tree, then what? Because didn't it say one person was having a bitch fit about it, and that was it?
Yeah, another private citizen came forward and had a problem with a tree.
Well, I'm just thinking have a tree and have a couple of menorahs around it. I think I saw that. I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's more inclusive, that's for sure.
The only thing I sort of disagree with you on is the Santa Claus as a Coca-Cola thing. There is tradition, like St. Nicholas as a traditional character. The current image, I think you're right that it was co-opted by the Coca-Cola company, but the idea, whilst not necessarily Christian, the idea of someone coming around and sort of leaving gifts and helping people out has been around for a while. So I will have to disagree with you on that point.
Okay. And to be fair, I think I did forget that point. So I appreciate the reminder.
But yeah, it's just wreaths are fine. I only skimmed the first couple of lines of this article earlier, so I didn't catch the bottom. Yes, okay, fair enough. They've acknowledged the fact that there is pagan roots, so I was okay, there's that rant over.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's kind of a weird one for me because we are more secular anyway. But we have a big Christmas tree up in the town centre. There's lights going on. I can see them out of my window once we have the thing. We got the switch on with the fireworks, and it's like a fun time for everyone. You know, got a local business come out, you get to grab some freebies.
Yeah.
In fact, last year I streamed the fireworks. Like it was before they decided you don't have 1,000 followers, so you can't stream from your phone anymore. And I just posted, so hey guys, I'm streaming this fireworks display. The couple of people that happened to catch it live was like, oh, this is a really neat idea for a fireworks display. I will say it did get flagged because the music that was playing in the background picked up. But since I don't get monetized anyway, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
You can still see the video. It's just like someone put a thingy on it.
There you go.
But it's just like, okay, if you want to have a chat about it and say, look, some people have expressed problems with this and that, then okay, at least you're keeping the dialogue open. But otherwise, if people aren't being offended, especially people of other faiths, are saying, have your Christmas tree, have your wreaths, have your tree lighting ceremony, because that's the tree lighting ceremony itself. That's a fun time for everyone. Yeah. And what you do for the rest of the time is like it's whatever.
Yeah.
So I think good on them for keeping the dialogue open, but maybe not necessarily keeping everything. You know, you don't have to be so overly. If that makes sense. So, you know, yeah, talk about it, but don't go overboard.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of going overboard, coming into Puyallup, Washington, as in Washington State, obviously, a 14-year-old girl has been arrested for eluding police and driving while impaired after leading police on a high-speed chase in Puyallup early Friday morning. It was just before 12:30 a.m. when a trooper spotted an SUV speeding along the road and tried to pull the driver over, according to Trooper Jonna Batiste. Some Overwatch fan just kind of creamed themselves, with the Washington State Patrol. The vehicle failed to yield to the trooper, and the pursuit happened. I like the wording, vehicle failed, as opposed to the driver in the vehicle not doing jack shit. I know what they mean, but I just find the wording amusing. The driver reached speeds of 90 to 100 miles an hour. During the chase, another trooper deployed spike strips on the road, and they were successful in popping the tires of the fleeing SUV. The SUV crashed near the South Hill Mall, and the two girls inside got out and tried to run. Bear in mind, they are impaired. They get captured a short time later, and the driver, determined to be 14 years old, was arrested for suspicion of DUI and felony eluding police, and she's since been booked into juvenile detention. The passenger, also a 14-year-old girl, was released to her mother, and Batiste said that girl was listed as a missing juvenile runaway. No one was injured during the chase, but the driver suffered a minor injury during her getaway. And kids, I'm gonna be real with you, all right? I'm gonna be real, because here's the thing, and I'm gonna tie this YouTube thing into this as well, because YouTube recently, because of the whole COPPA thing, you have to mark whether or not your channel is for kids. And the channel that this good podcast is on is not strictly for kids, but I know that kids are, and when I say kids, I mean like teenagers and younger, as a catch-all for this particular instance, even though I really shouldn't. But anyways, so they're going to listen anyway, whether it's marked for kids or not. That being said, don't do this. Let this be a lesson to you. Do not, if you're going to drink, if you're going to be underage and drink, do it at home under controlled circumstances. Hell, my parents believed in that. I never took them up on it, but they believed it's like, hey, you know what? You want to try smoking, you want to try drinking, do it here where we can keep an eye on your ass. You know, that is probably more responsible than a lot of the alternatives. Whether you believe teenagers should be drinking or not, that's a whole different conversation to be had. Don't be these teenage girls. Just don't. These two in particular, do not be them, because you will get put in juvie. How long she's going to be in juvie, I don't know, but you go get put there, and from what I understand, is not a pleasant place, just like regular prison. Is not good. Now, granted, from what I understand, I don't know if it works the same way in Washington or if it's a national thing or whatever. You know, once she turns 18, then whatever she did at this point not really matters much, I think. I don't know. There's the felony evasion of police. I don't know if that carries over, but still, like, yeah, kids, if you must drink, do it under controlled circumstances. Talk to your parents.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with them. You know, if your parents are anything like mine, they'll be like, all right, we'll try it under these circumstances. We can keep an eye on your silly ass.
But here's another perspective. Don't avoid drinking and driving because you don't want to go to prison. Don't drink and drive because you could die. Other people could die. You could kill someone. So, you know, like, yeah, don't be fucking stupid, you know, but do it for not just, you know, because you don't want to get in trouble. Do it because it's the wrong thing. Like, don't drink and drive. It's stupid and people die.
That is also a very, very valid thing.
Yep.
So
on the on the home drinking thing, I don't know if I mentioned before, but my dad used to make wine when I was a child. I think I mentioned before. I mark for that time. I mark when I was living at certain places, and so it was definitely before we moved out of my hometown the first time. So I was no more than 12. My sister would have been no more than 9. And Dad made wine, and he let us try. I know I probably did have some. I don't know if my little sister at that point had any herself. And so, yeah, I probably definitely tried a couple of glasses of wine before I was even a teenager. And it was alright, kind of thing. I'll probably put more lemonade in it. Just because, you know, it was a bit, but, you know, it's like he made it. We were allowed to have some to try it. It looked what Daddy made. Like, oh, that's alright. Probably felt a bit wobbly and just get on with it. And then even as I was growing up, would like, oh, here, have some cider, which, to clarify, if I say cider, I always mean hard cider. We don't have soft cider, which really confused me while I was watching the My Little Pony episode with cider in it.
Yeah.
When they were talking about it, because like, wow, like they've got to be at least over 21 then. And Erin's like, not necessarily, because they could just be like fizzy cider, which is non-alcoholic. I said, I will never get used to that. So yeah, my mum would say, oh, have some cider. It's just like apple, you know, have this. It's just apple juice. And no, mum, that's cider. It's alcoholic. I've had cider since then. I like it, but yeah, it's like. So my parents, for different reasons, occasions, so say, oh, you have this, have that. We've got different rules. Like if you can take a little drink or something in a restaurant if you're with your family and you are eating, but like a sip or something. So even then, like as children. But yes, I agree with Kat. If you're gonna be drinking, don't drink and drive, because that's just selfish.
Yeah.
Because someone could get hurt.
Yeah.
And not just yourself.
Definitely. And this is
so
also a good example of why I have co-hosts. Because sometimes they'll pick up on something like, hey, you idiot. You forgot this very important thing. So, yeah, co-host appreciation. Yay!
Also, the thing about one of the girls being a runaway, was there reasons? Is there like a whole story we're missing here? You know, is there a reason she left home?
The article doesn't
say. She got drunk? You know, if she's running away and getting herself drunk, maybe there's a whole other story under the surface we could be missing.
Yeah. I mean, the runaway thing they don't say, but in terms of getting drunk, I think I know why most people get drunk. Nowadays, our world is dying. So we may as well get drunk. And she just caught on to it 14 years in. Both of them did, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. So we brought up, religious stuff earlier. And we're going to bring it up again. Because this one is out of Florida. Take a shot.
Take a shot.
Winter Park, Florida, which I've been to a few times since starting to run with this company. People in a Seminole County neighborhood say they're fed up with the noise coming from an area church. Action Church sits next to Grand Road in Winter Park, next to two busy neighborhoods. Action Church. Do you think they're an offshoot of Action Park?
I wouldn't know that reference, sorry.
So basically, Action Park, for those who don't know, the long and the short of it, it was a very unsafe water park.
Ooh.
Where people have either, water slide with a loop-de-loop.
Oh, God.
That doesn't work out too well.
What are you talking about? That sounds totally safe and amazing, and absolutely nothing could go wrong.
I know, right? So I just have to wonder, Action Church, is it safe to go to this church? But we'll find out. Jeremy Fratty said a year ago he heard a thumping noise and thought it was a car with bass turned up as it was driving down the street, but was surprised to learn the noise was coming from a church. Ramon Irizarry told the local news that although he knows the exact times the drums will start during Sunday service, he can also hear the church during the week. The church's lead pastor, Justin Daly, gave the local news station a tour inside the facility. We worship here for 60 to 75 minutes every service, Daly said. Sounds about right. When the church has a full house for Sunday service, Daly said the noise level can reach around 90 decibels. Holy shit! You know, I've joked. I don't mention this often, but I live across the street from the Baptist College of Florida, specifically the chapel side. And I used to joke that in high school, like during those hot days, you would open the doors and you could hear a cacophony of voices trying to sing whatever the hell they were trying to sing. And me being somewhat musically inclined and very, very sensitive to off notes, if I was out in the backyard, you would think I was a seizure victim and call the hospital and be like, hey, this guy's, oh, no, I'm not having a seizure. They just sing badly.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that joke runs nowadays, but, you know, throw it at the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah.
The Seminole County Sheriff's Office said there have been 222 noise complaints at Action Church's address since December 2018. Not even a year! Wow! Daly said they are aware of the complaints and have turned down the music significantly in response. Neighbors deny that claim, saying the problem still persists. Police come over here and they go to the church and they bring the level of music down. 30 minutes later, when the police leave, they take it to another notch. Officials with the Seminole County Attorney's Office say they're drafting a countywide noise ordinance after several noise complaints came in across the county and not just from the church. There is no specific date when the draft could be finished. Neighbors plan on holding a peaceful protest Sunday, which I believe would be the day we're recording. I wonder how that went. In hopes that would help. We will not be shouting or chanting, said Debbie Smith. We will just be showing quiet support for those affected by the bass being generated by Action Church. I also have to know what the hell kind of music, well, we know what kind of music, but what kind of instrumentation is going on there? I mean, what somebody else said in the article, we know there's drums, but just, and I know things can get loud. It's been at least a decade or two since I've been in a church, but I don't recall them being quite that loud. You know, the cacophony from the chapel, that is literally just a joke because they don't get that loud around here. They just don't. And this is a quiet, small town. They don't get that loud. No matter what church you're going to, you'd have to be up on the doors basically to hear anything. So
yeah.
So it's like, what the hell are you guys doing? Kat, we'll start with you on this.
They've got the spirit. It's in them, and it's all over the place, and it needs to be everywhere. I guess. Holy crap. First off, I wouldn't actually want to live near, like, a church just due to traffic.
Yeah.
Like, extra cars everywhere and being in the way all the time. But, like, Jesus. Literally, Jesus Christ. What the fuck are they doing there?
I understand being enthusiastic. Sure, you can be enthusiastic. You know, you're not harming anybody by being enthusiastic. When you harm somebody being enthusiastic, that's a whole different story. But yeah. Wow.
Yeah, what are they doing that they need to be so loud? Like, you are indoors. You are performing an indoor activity. What? Why? It's not like you're at a concert.
No.
I know. And I think this is a title. They're praying to 11.
They're praying to 11. Yeah, otherwise known as the Pentecostal Church. And yes, I know from experience. Oh, Lordy B. Go ahead.
Speaking to living near churches, like I've mentioned before, I'm in like the town centre. There's like a local gospel church, like as it Church of St David or something in the town. Usually see like well dressed people of colour going in there, and then there's a main CV church over the road, which is quite a nice building actually. And there's like a local Quakers place like behind that. And I can't say I'm aware of any extra traffic or any issues specifically from church traffic. So we sometimes get noise, like sometimes we hear drumming and stuff, like coming from that area. But I don't know if someone, a local garage band, or just from the church. But I can't say I've noticed any particular noisiness being, I could pinpoint it to being from one of the churches around here. So I don't know.
Yeah, and even the Pentecostal churches that I've been to in my life, they would be loud and they would have some weird German lady speaking in what is definitely not German or English. And it's one of those that has like you go up and you get pushed on the forehead and you're supposed to fall down type thing. It's one of those. But even stepping outside, unless the door is flat out open, you don't hear it very well. I guess they got good soundproofing. But at the same time, you also mentioned the parking. I've noticed around here it's not as bad, but again, small town. So, and there are a lot of churches. Like there's the chapel at the Baptist College. There is one like on the other end of the like a block or two away. There's one down the road on the other side of the main highway. There's one on the south side of town. There's one near downtown. There's one over down the road from where the chapel is. So and that's just the ones that, there's also one going out of town to the north as well. So that's just the ones I know about right now. I think there was one other one, but I think they closed down. So yeah, a lot of churches. So we
we've got other, like, that's just the ones I can think of within a couple of minutes walk from me.
Yeah. But the point is here, not only smaller population, but also it's spread out a lot more for those who actually go to church. But in larger cities where churches may not be as clumped together, thus to spread out that population, I can see where the parking is the problem. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna stay in Florida, and we're gonna even stay in the same general area of Florida because Winter Park is around like Kissimmee and Orlando, Disney, and all that good shit. And this next one is out of Apopka. And that is how it's pronounced. I have family who lives there, and it is out like a northwest Orlando area. And I am expecting rage, because this is very rage-worthy. A 48-year-old Orlando man is accused of taking 22 upskirt videos, mostly of women, and at least one juvenile student when he was a career coach at Sheeler High School, a self-governed charter school in Apopka. The suspect, Michael D. Johnson, was fired from the school, Sheeler High Principal Jonathan D. Owens told parents in a letter this week. We also reported his arrest and termination of employment to the Ethics Division of the State Department of Education. That is a long-ass title. So they can take the necessary action with the former employee's teacher's certification. Good. If he's going to be doing shit like this, no. Get him away from the students. State records show Johnson is a registered clinical social worker intern. Yeah, that needs to go away. Apopka police charged Johnson with video voyeurism and video voyeurism by a school employee. Apparently, you need two different charges, which it's understandable. I'm not trying to knock it. I just didn't think that would come with two different charges. Okay. An arrest warrant said a parent called police after Johnson took a photo of under her daughter's dress with his cell phone during a September open house at the school. Johnson allowed police to search his phone. Officers couldn't find photograph of that student. However, numerous videos were located on Johnson's phone of him secretly using his phone to record unsuspecting females under their clothing without their knowledge, police said in an arrest warrant. It is apparent in the videos reviewed that the purpose of these videos was for viewing the body or undergarments of unsuspecting females. There's a little bit more information, but I think we've got the gist of it. This guy, okay. There is, because I'm already seeing, like, I did not read the comments of this article. I don't really read the comments of most of the articles I pull. but I'm willing to bet there's going to be at least one asshole who's going to be like, well, they don't have any expectation of privacy. They're in a public area with a lot of people around. There's going to be that one asshole. And while in a lot of, in some circumstances that can be true, out on the street, whatever, that is null and void when you are trying to take, video or pictures of somebody's panties or vaginas or asses or what have you, stuff that you have to work to get under.
So, 1 second. Mm-hmm. He's a school employee, or was a school employee, but he wasn't necessarily taking the photos or videos in the school.
Well, it says here one victim was speaking to a classroom of students. So part of it was at least some of them were in the school.
But not necessarily everyone were in school.
Yeah. But regardless of whether it's in school or not, that boundary still was crossed. Whether or not somebody says, whether or not there's an expectation of privacy, there is still the expectation, hey, don't take photos of my junk without permission, asshole.
No, that's what's confusing me, because you're saying, well, they're in a public place. So, like, hang on, I thought it was in a school. But okay, fair enough.
Some that same asshole would probably also argue that a school is a public place. That's too gray an area for me to make a solid judgment call on. I'm going to err on the side of no.
Don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna. But yeah, I'm glad this guy is just gone out of the situation, and he's getting his comeuppance. This needs to happen more often. This really does. And
sorry.
And guess what? Guess what, my dude? I'm also going to. I doubt he's listening, but if he ever does, if this what is his name? Michael D. Johnson. Okay, Mikey. I'm gonna call you Mikey. Mikey D. Let me learn you a thing or two, okay? There are women on the internet that you can pay, and they will let you take pictures of their junk all day long, even in an upskirt format. I say format. You can pay them. They will let you do that. They are called sex workers, and it is legitimate work. And nobody gets hurt. They get money. They can survive a little bit better. You get your rocks off, and there you go. Nobody's hurt. You don't have to be this fucking creepazoid that goes up to random women and just like, don't do it. And now you're facing the consequences of it. And so ha 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 ha.
I'm kind of caught on one thing at the beginning as well. We said mostly women.
Yeah,
and I'm okay.
Yeah, that caught me for a moment too, because it's like, wait, mostly
fair
women?
play to any male wearing whatever they want to be wearing, because that is their right.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like, okay, so maybe they pass, and he thought it was a pretty lady, and then got the picture home and was like, hello, that's not a pretty lady part.
Yeah. Or also, he could be bi.
True. I just like the idea of this upskirt perv getting a picture of something he wasn't expecting.
Yeah. So just but
Cat.
Yeah, Cat.
I'm having uncomfortable flashbacks to high school.
Oh
no.
Like no, nothing ever happened to me, but like there was definitely some teachers who were teaching at my high school who were like grade A perverts, and like there was a guy who he was a science teacher that I had, and he had a house fire like shortly after I graduated, and when the police were going around to see, find some evidence to see if it was arson, they found his house full of child pornography.
Whoa. Jeebus.
And yeah, so it's shit like that where I'm just like, this whole story just makes me think of high school. That's not good.
Yeah.
No.
Although I do want to tie it into something we didn't get to talk about it last time, because I wanted, because Kat wasn't here, to also drink in the delicious cheers of maleness, because of between the we didn't mention it last show, but that whole Vic Mignogna thing that happened,
Oh,
You know,
Christ.
he is, crashing and burning all over the place, and it is glorious.
Yes.
Yes. It's like, yeah. That needs to happen more often.
Yes.
Other things that also could happen more often, still in Florida. This one, I think, this one is out of Miami Beach, so a little further south. A Florida woman allegedly bit her boyfriend's penis and threatened him with a knife after she accused him of wanting to have sex with another woman, a report said. I like the idea of just, of anybody really, just getting so pissed off at a dude that she just goes numb. That amuses me, because you would think, oh, it's in the crotch area, it's going to be sexy. Nope. And if you've never, if you have never been bitten in the genitals, good. I wish I could share that record with you.
I wish we hadn't had any of this conversation.
I don't blame you.
No sentence should start with, if you've never been bitten in the genitals. Which, by the way, there's our episode title.
Oh no, we got 2 now. Oh no. Oh.
Genitals to 11?
There you go.
Genitals to 11. No.
Oh. But okay, so the alleged assault happened during an hours-long drinking session in Miami Beach that ended about 3 a.m. Wednesday, a local news reported. Esperanza Gomez, 33, was drinking beers with her boyfriend when a female friend joined them at about midnight, according to the report. The friend left a short time later, but Gomez became enraged and accused her boyfriend of wanting to bed the woman. She allegedly shouted at him, grabbed him by the arms, and began to poke him with a knife, according to a police report obtained by the situation.
What the fuck?
She then bit his penis out of frustration.
Are they still at the bar at this point?
I know this is like there's definitely serious shit going on here, because she was arrested and hit with aggravated assault and deadly weapon, and her bond set at $6,500. But just again, biting somebody's dick out of frustration, like you motherfucker, out. I'm pretty sure the dude's penis is gonna be okay, because otherwise we'd have a totally different story on our hands. But still, ow. But also jealousy issues much. Because I've been in I'm in a non-monogamous relationship now, but even in a monogamous relationship, I don't recall ever having a partner getting that jealous of me being attracted to somebody else besides my partner. I've had one get jealous when I wanted to spend time with my then really good friend, well, who's still a really good friend, but complications there. Point is, female. For those who don't know, I am a cis male. And, she kind of got a little upset over it, and we ended up ending things that night. Ugh. That's a rough one. That was a rough one. But still, that's one out of a whole bunch of others. And I kind of lost my train of thought. Point is, she got jealousy issues. Which, talk with your boyfriend if he's going to stick around. If he sticks around, then all right, but I wouldn't blame him if he left. But just for the frustration penis biting alone, that is going to be the weirdest phrase. Well, that's going to be one of the weirdest phrases to come out of this episode. That just is. Communication, goddammit. And it's okay. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right now. To whether you're monogamous, not monogamous, whatever. It is okay if you are attracted to somebody that is not also your partner. It is okay to have that attraction. We are human, and it's okay to not have that attraction too. Again, we're all wired differently. We're all human.
Yeah.
I'm obviously very attracted to my girlfriend, but I am also attracted to other women as well, and so is she. But we also understand that. We're non-monogamous. We're allowed to act on those. But if we were monogamous, then we both would still understand. And that's the kind of conversation people need to be having for healthier and more longer lasting relationships. Relationship advice coming from a story about a woman biting a penis. Who would have thunk that? So do either of y'all have anything else to add to this really weird story?
I'm just trying to get the narrative. It doesn't say they were out drinking, so this friend visited them in their own property. Or
like?
This happened when they were out, in which case, what the fuck?
I don't know, but I'm assuming they were at home. That's going to be my assumption.
Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. But it's just like, I'm sorry, she's in the wrong. She's the one having the jealousy fit and causing him damage because of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think I have anything more to say there, except, she is in the wrong. I mean, you can be jealous, you can sort of look at people, say, I've done it, you like that person, whatever. It's like, okay, fine, you can make the jokes, whatever. But if you're getting to the point where you're buying things that shouldn't be bitten without, prior consent and safe words, no. So I'm sorry, I've got no sympathy for her.
Yeah.
If you can, like I said, you can have some of the irrational jealousy, just don't go too far with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having, like, I'm not entirely comfortable with this situation, I want to express that feeling as words.
Yeah. And Kat, any final thoughts on this?
The less we talk about people biting other people's penises off on the show, the better.
You know what? I agree. Let's move on. This one does not involve biting penises, thankfully.
Woo!
But it does involve people getting into a fight. Out of Temecula, California, a Temecula resident captured a fight between two couples in the drive-thru of a Popeyes restaurant on camera Saturday night. Gigi Drummond captured the incident as it escalated. However, no arrests were made. And I note here in my own notes that there is a video, and I got to look at it, and all the participants in the fight were white-ass honkies. Just to give you an idea. And
which is exactly what he wrote in the notes, people.
Yes.
All the participants in the fight were white-ass honkies.
Yes.
That is the note.
Yeah. In fact, I am even taking a screen cap, as long as it'll focus. There we go. I have the screen cap, and I will post it. I can also post it. But anyways, Drummond says she was waiting in the drive-thru line at the Popeyes on Temecula Parkway when a man in a white car became frustrated with an incorrect order, like you do. He had reportedly been waiting for more than an hour and refused to come inside to have the order fixed, choosing to stay in line instead. Not a good idea. A person in the black car behind the man honked their horn really loudly, said Drummond. This prompted the man in the white car to exit his vehicle and begin shouting at both individuals from the black car, who also exited the car. If you watch the video, you'll see the fight escalating to a physical encounter with several of the parties throwing punches and swinging at one another. Drummond and her daughter, Delilah Scarrett, are heard commenting on what they observed as the fight occurred. So it's like Lois. There's a wrestling reference in there that I don't think I can make right now. But people on social media responded to the commentary, because obviously she shared it on social media, saying Drummond needs her own show. At one point, two women are fighting with shoes being thrown, and the group is then seen tumbling to the ground. Two uniformed officers arrived at the scene during the fight and are seen speaking with the parties involved in the fight, but Drummond said no one was arrested. She posted the videos to her Facebook page Saturday night, writing, "Decided to get a Popeyes chicken sandwich for my son. We got front row seats to Saturday night fights." And the clip's been shared over 25,000 times as of Tuesday night. Riverside County Sheriff's Department confirmed that no one was arrested following the incident, and no one wanted to press charges. The department released the following statement. The incident stemmed from impatient, it's typed out inpatient, but it's impatient, customers in the drive-thru at the Popeyes. A verbal and physical altercation ensued, and no arrests were made due to both parties declining prosecution. And yeah, I'm gonna make this a race thing for just a few seconds, because I mentioned they're all white ass honkies. You can bet your bottom dollar if any one of them were not white, those non-white fuckers would be in jail. I'm willing to bet. But they're all white ass honkies, so it's just Jerry Springer live. It's basically what it is. But I've had issues with fast food or just restaurant food service in general. It hasn't happened as much, but the most frustrating thing that happen to me on a regular basis is going into any fast food restaurant that's also attached to a truck stop, and saying you're gonna sit in their restaurant and eat the food that you order, like I do at the end of my days. And they put it, instead of putting it on a tray, like they demonstrably do for other people, they don't do it for you. And I don't think it's something against me. I think it's just, they just don't care enough, or they're not paying attention. And I can understand, long-ass days, you're on your feet, you forget a few things sometimes. It's just irritating on this end of it, that's all. But it's nothing to go and start a fight over. It's nothing to go and just stand there for an hour because they got your order wrong. It's like, I understand getting an order wrong. You're upset. You're a little irritated. Okay, fine. They're saying, hey, we need to keep this line moving. Come inside. We will handle it for you. We can see you. We will watch where you park. We know who you are, that sort of thing. And the Popeyes was trying to correct it. This asshole's been like, no, you're going to do it right here, right now. Like, dude, get over yourself. It's just Popeyes. And suddenly my girlfriend ears perked up and she's like, wait, you said something against Popeyes? What? Popeyes is okay. It's just a little too spicy for me. Because I am a weak ass honky. Kat, how do you like Popeyes?
I love Popeyes. I actually had the chicken sandwich yesterday for the first time.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How is it?
It was good. It was really good. It was not worth all the shit that you've heard on the news, all the fighting and a guy got shot and all this other stuff. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth all that, but it is a really good chicken sandwich. I overall like Popeyes more than most other places, though.
Yeah, that's fair. So now about these assholes here. What do you have to say about them?
God, would you just stop? I'm tired of reading stories about something this stupid because it makes it sound like it's Popeye's fault or a chicken sandwich's fault, when really it's just that people are assholes and just want a reason to snap on other people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to see this exact same shit in a couple weeks for Black Friday.
Oh,
it's going to be the same shit over.
Oh.
So there's a lot of irritated people out there in the world just looking for a reason to hate somebody or snap over something. And it's like, if something's making you angry, take yourself out of that situation if you have the ability, because it's not worth it.
Yeah. And to speak to that, because I do pay attention to the news and I do listen to NPR on a regular basis, so I know I listen to what's going on in the government. And there's also just regular stuff that's going on in my life, like the fact that that my job is not keeping me consistent enough with the home time to be able to schedule recordings like this properly. That all is boiling underneath me. I mean, and we all know how I can go off on random things. I mean, my moniker is the ranting thespian for a reason. But when I'm out and about in meat space, I tend to keep that shit to myself among strangers. Now, if the three of us were just in a car or something and we were just driving around and something happened, rest assured, I will probably rant their ears off, as I would hope they would be free to do in return, if necessary.
Yeah.
But that's also among friends,
Yeah.
where we all understand hopefully all understand where the other person is coming from. I mean, hell, a lot of my conversations with my girlfriend, we'll sit there and we'll rant at each other about different things. Me is usually some kind of government thing. She usually about some asshole who's being outed, some dickhead that's been outed as said dickhead in the animation industry, or things of that nature, things like that. We'll rant at each other. And hey, almost 6 years and we're going strong. You know, the couple who rants together stays together, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, don't let these white-ass honkies be a lesson to all of our fellow white-ass honkies. Don't be these assholes! If you must rant, do it in a better... It's like teenage drinking. Do it in a controlled environment where you're not going to hurt anybody or thing like that. And also, because it just occurred to me, it would be one thing if you were actually protesting something worthwhile, if you held up the line, but he wasn't. He was just an irritable asshole. That's all it was. Michelle, what about your thoughts?
So, a couple of thoughts. One, I don't know if I've ever been through a drive-through, partly because I don't drive, but also not even as a passenger. Two, we don't have Popeyes, so I can't speak to their chicken at all. But also, just scanning through the article, it's people in the queue, so nobody was actually getting into fisticuffs with the employees, were they?
No.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Like I said, you know, Popeyes was, you know, with the initial irritable asshole, they were trying to make things right. You know, their Popeyes is on the good side here.
Yeah. So this guy is in the queue for 45 minutes to an hour, holding up everyone else who wants to just get through, and I can understand people behind him getting frustrated.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's isn't the whole point of drive-through that you don't have to worry about stopping and getting out of the car? You're in, you're out. You go park up either in their designated spaces or wherever you're going to.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's on your way home, kind of thing. So to be held up that long, where you might as well have just popped in the time it took to wait, I can see people getting frustrated.
Oh yeah.
But if there are solutions, then yelling at other passengers, especially the people behind you, that's not the solution.
No,
it's not their fault that you've delayed them.
No, it's not.
But even then, so we accept the fact that people behind the first person is getting frustrated because, oh my god, what is taking so long? It's just a drive-through.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. But even then, you don't have to resort to actual getting physical with people. But there's no need for that.
Yeah, and now I'll also add this little tidbit as well. When I'm, you know, again, for those who don't get it or wasn't clear, I drive a truck for my day job. So I get into a lot of traffic. Hello, Atlanta. Hello, Miami. Fuck your traffic, both. But I am the kind of guy that I will rant and rave at traffic with the windows up so nobody can hear me. Because I am not about to start. I am not about to start a fight on the goddamn interstate. Let's just not do that. So you know, keep it in. Let it out in a different area. So with that all said, that is going to be it for our show this week. Now, if you are a patron of ours, this is finally going to be the week, or we're starting a. I think I'm going to call it the curtain call, because there's already the encore files, where it's just me doing like a separate thing on its own, which I have not done in a while. But the curtain calls is basically going to be like 5-10 minutes, three of us just kind of farting around. And I really wanted our first one to be just the three of us to do it, because we're is the main team. Otherwise, it would have happened last time. But yeah, so that's if you're a patron. I first one's going to be for all patrons until I decide if I want to put it on a higher tier or not. So if you're a patron of mine, well, there you go. Or I might just make it free for all patrons. I will know by the time this goes live, and when this goes live, you guys will know too. That is going to be the thing. So if you're listening to this, then you know ahead of me right now. So. Yeah. Kat, where can we find you on social media if we wanted to find you?
Oh, Christ, I haven't done this in a long time. You can find me on the social medias on Twitter at LabyrinthCat and Facebook.com/NerdistCat. And then you can also check out my other shows. What are my other shows? I haven't recorded in a while, you guys.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? It's over on 1201beyond.com. I don't know. There's like a hiatus that we're doing right now, so go catch up on the old episodes or something. And then I am presently recording Nerd to the Third Power, which is on YouTube and iTunes and all that good stuff. So check us out.
And Michelle, where can we find you?
You can find me on both Twitter and YouTube. At Phoenix11 PHEONIX11. I'm not on Facebook. Why do I keep saying that? YouTube is mostly unboxings and reviews. So the last one would have been an unboxing video, which is doing alright. And I've had a new subscriber recently who said hi to me, so yay.
Yay!
And maybe this is something we could talk about in the thing. There's YouTube stuff happening, so I might not be there forever.
Yeah. Oh, but while YouTube things are actually happening, you can find me on the social medias, on the Twitters, the Tumblrs, the Instagrams, and even YouTube at Gomer21XX. This show can also be viewed on YouTube. Just type in Thespian Talk and you'll find it. And on YouTube under Gomer the Ranting Thespian, if for whatever reason youtube.com/Gomer21XX doesn't work, just look for Gomer the Ranting Thespian. You'll find me there. I do have an Instagram at Gomer21XX, and that's mostly Pokemon stuff, shiny hunting and all that good shit. Because shiny hunting is fun and I enjoy it. And it keeps me from wanting to do things like, roll down the window and yell at the stupid four-wheelers that cut me off, or run into said four-wheelers who cut me off. Bear in mind, large goddamn semi. So yeah. I'm also on Facebook under Gomer the Ranting Thespian. Just search for that. You'll find me there. We also have this show on all your favorite podcast apps thanks to Anchor, which you heard an ad for at the during the break segment. Unless you're a patron, patrons don't get any ads. Ha 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 ha. That's a reason to become a patron right there. Ad free. Granted, it's only the one ad, but you can just go over that by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/Gomer21XX. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our title card artist, our artist in general, who is Becky Hopkins, who is very amazing, very talented, and her commission contact information is going to be in the doobly-doo at beckyhopkinsdesign@gmail.com. Go and commission her for some work. She does good shit. She really does. And also in the doobly-doo, there is a link to the Discord server if you want to come in, say hello, and, even submit news stories and all of that good shit. We're there. You guys can be there too. You could say hello. I promise we won't bite unless you ask.
Nicely.
Oh. And I've also been forgetting that we do have a subreddit for Thespian Talk. It's our Thespian Talk. And we also have a Twitter for the show at Thes Talk Show. All of that stuff is going to be in the doobly-doo. It'll be nice and fun there. So, with that, unless you're a patron, patrons will see you just on the other side. But for everybody else, this is Gomer, the Ranting Thespian, with the cat and Michelle, signing off.